All right, good morning. Matt Pitts here. Brett is on his way, but I'm going to start us off. Rick Hill in the building. I'm going to pin you. All right, I see Richard's here. When Richard pops on, I'll bring him in. I'm going to start right away, but I need share access, Mr. Benton, when you can give that to me. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, we're going to start off. What do I got up there? There we go. All right, Broward County, single family. Let's see, we're going to scroll on down and hopefully scroll on down, except we're frozen. Great. There we go. That's scrolling. There we go. All
Slowly.
right, May 4th, they got 814 active listings in Broward single family, and we're spinning again.
We can see the top line.
Did it go down to condos on your end?
It
Yep.
did.
All right. Back at it. All right. 968 active listings. We got 131 under contract, 238 closings, and we are jumping all around. 104. I'm going to do this. Sorry for the delay. Rick, tell me something good while I try to fix my screen share.
uh, Today's a new day and an opportunity. How about that? I'll keep it simple.
Thank you.
Happy Star Wars Day to everybody.
That's right. May the fourth be with you. See, Richard, I knew I could count on you to bring it.
And we got Luke on the call too. So
All right. Well, I am trying to stop sharing. I just see black. So, Luke, I don't know if you can share screen or not.
sure. Give me just one. Uh, actually, I would prefer. I need to finish something for another call, but yes. Let me see here. Share. My computer's not set up for this, so give me just one second. Sorry. All right. Share the screen and then let me know. Come over here. And
Like complete.
here we go.
Good job, Lou.
County,
Showing
where are we
up.
going?
Just run
What,
through the territories. We're looking at numbers.
which
Yep.
one? Where
I
we
think
at?
we're
Condos?
Broward
Yep.
single family to condos.
Got it. There's the condos. We already did that one.
Nope.
Okay. I will
All right.
scroll.
I can see.
As I'm ready.
All right, 968 active, 131 pending. That's about the same, a little up from last month this time. 238 closing. That's the most we've had in 5 weeks and 10 weeks
Yeah.
uh, pending in the condo market. So look forward to hearing Richard on that. And then we had 104 canceled, about the same. So pendings are up. Richard, what do you think's going on?
Good question. It's a continuation of what we've seen, guys. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. When the interest rates dropped, buyers came back into the market. Closed sales are a reflection on that. What I'm really happy to see is the jump back up in the under contract and pending numbers. They went back up to what they were a couple weeks ago. So that's a great trend in the condo market.
Yep. All right, going down there, Luke. I'll let Rick read these off because he can see his screen.
Miami-Dade single family. 771 showing up on the active side. Seven coming soon, 153 under contract, 215 pending. That combined numbers like 368. So in alignment with what we've seen, 344. Yeah, it's as good or better than the prior month. 316 closed. That is a significant jump percentage wise. Only 37 withdrawn, 111 expired, interestingly. Probably the product of end of month, showing up and then those numbers rolling over, which is common.
Yeah, although not as bad, Rick, as what you saw for April 1st, the end of month numbers. If you notice,
Good
that was
point.
at 145.
145. Yeah. So all in all, it looks like a strong early summer market showing up,
Yeah, we're actually seeing the improvement in the spring market. That's
which
been
is
a little bit delayed.
and a little surprising only because it just shows the sentiment of consumers over the narrative that the distraction because not a whole lot's changed with many of the fundamentals.
Yeah.
All right, Miami-Dade condos, 1,012. So inventory's back up to where it was March 23rd after pretty significant expiration number. Believe, wow, 259. I wonder how many of those immediately rolled over back into active status. But 1,012, three coming soon, six under
Six under
contract.
contract looks like a typo, so I'm checking it right now.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going to
I,
ask you
I
about
hope
that one,
so.
Luke.
I hope so. I would speculate a typo. That number doesn't usually, I mean, we had 34 back December 29th, but that's when you'd expect it. All right, so we'll just move past this data since other than pending and closed, it looks consistent with what we've seen. All right. And then let's see, single family Palm, I guess we'll do bait. Yep, single family Palm Beach, 888. There's inventory to look at. That's a
Yeah.
positive for sure. A reason to track the market. And if you've got clients that are somewhere in the lukewarm department or consideration of the right, if they would do something for the right opportunity, there appears to be content for conversation and for reaching out. Under contract 256, pending and closed 360, about 450. So slightly more than we've seen, three, four. I'm just doing the math, quick math. We should have a combined number, Richard, so we don't have to think so fast on our feet. But there's consistency here. Honestly, consistency is a gift, in my humble opinion. Steady's good. Volatility creates fear. Consistency creates a market and a narrative that you can win with. Uncertainties, you're kind of the devil in the detail of whether
Yeah.
people move or don't move. All right.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Richard?
And Rick, I agree with you. I'd rather see things staying nice and even, moving along. Slight increases would be good, but staying steady is great.
As
Um,
good or better, right?
it's
That's a winning
as
formula.
good or better. Yep, that's a
Well,
win.
especially, and the goal on your part should be to continue to become as good or better than the market and get your unfair share.
Yeah, I mean, the good news about Palm Beach County single family homes is the jump up in inventory. That's the highest active inventory we've seen in a while. So that's a good number.
Yeah, so I
Um,
would funnel that data into AI and come up with a good 30-second clip that you publish and produce
yeah,
and to generate interest. Hey, by the way, there's opportunity we haven't seen in a while. Have you considered? Here are a few options you might, and maybe
yeah.
spotlight something that looks like a particularly attractive property or good deal because people don't buy realtors, they buy homes.
Now, here's another number for you to consider. Um, Earlier this year, it was announced Florida passed Texas to be the number one net immigration state in the country. Not much, but we've only been a slight bit behind Texas. And when you look at how much bigger Texas is than the state of Florida, that says something. Florida has net immigration of about 1,300 people a day
A day.
a day coming
Wow.
into this state, of which they say about a third of that is coming into our tri-county area. Okay? Think about that. 400 roughly people a day moving to our market. That's a driving force for us. That's what shows what our potential future could be. Now, one of the wealth magazines also came out with a number that Florida blew away the rest of the country for the number of billionaires moving to South Florida and investing in property down, not just buying second homes. They're moving and they're moving their businesses down here. That's the future potential that you guys have in Florida. It's one of the reasons, and Brett will probably be looking at this in stats next week, um, why the $1 million plus market has stayed as one of the strongest segments of our market. That's a chunk of the money that's been moving here.
Yep.
So my quick math at 1,300 a day, you're talking over 400,000, 474 to be exact. That is a
Half a
tremendous
million.
opportunity. And so if I'm sitting in the shoes in the seat of a real estate agent in a preferred area like our Tri-County area, to your point, just receiving a third of that, call it 150,000. Where are they coming from and how do you get out in front of it so that your name and your brand and your value proposition speaks louder than the competition? Because unfair share is the name of the game. And the good news is from a investment perspective, when demand continues to grow like that, the environment for making that economic commitment becomes easier, in my humble opinion, and that needs to be part of your overview, your story. That what are the economic benefits, that outweigh the risk. That
Yeah.
whole proverbial why buy now. I mean, it should be an easy rhetorical answer. And that should be in your narrative. And that should be omnipresent. If I Googled your name right now and your brand, what would it say about your excitement for what's offered in your community and why buying now is the only right answer?
And the other thing you touched on there, Rick, is you've got to understand where people coming into your market are coming from. Um, Gail and I have always made it a habit of when we were going for other designations, we would travel to get those designations. And if you know that people are coming to your market from Boston, search out where the next class that you want to take is, when it's coming up in Boston, travel, meet the realtors in Boston, build the relationship so that you become their referral source down here. Give me an example. Last week was talking to an agent um, in the Fort Lauderdale office, has a $10 million property. He knows that that property will probably go to a French Canadian. Reached out and had a KW agent in Montreal, I believe in Montreal, who would take his listing and market it in the Montreal MLS, and worked out an agreement with him that if he found the buyer for that property, what their referral split would be. This guy knew exactly where to go in order to get that specific property sold. Do you know your market well enough that you can pinpoint who the referrals are going to be?
Yeah, he was very clear in the avatar that he was searching for.
Yep.
And when you know your avatar, it's easy to target and snipe.
Yep.
That's brilliant, Richard.
Yep.
All
All
And
right,
right.
one of the
gentlemen.
articles that you sent out, Brett, we'll be talking about the articles in a bit. The one about being bilingual
Yeah,
with
I'm
your
coming to that
marketing.
one. Yeah, we
That
can go
that
there first. Let's go there first.
hmm.
So, luxury listings need multilingual distribution, not just MLS exposure. So, I think AI is really going to play a big role in helping with this. So, like, to what Richard's saying is, how in tune are you with who's buying in the marketplace globally? Um, this article is talking specifically about California and how much China buys in California, but in South Florida, it's Argentina, it's Latin America, it's uh, uh, East European, right? Like, so what are the languages, and do you foresee yourself having property information in multiple languages in the future, specifically luxury? Not, I wouldn't go take the effort on median price homes, but specifically luxury. I think you're probably going to start to have websites or some kind of multilingual distribution in that ultra luxury in the higher end luxury properties. What do y'all think?
I would argue that it's irrelevant of the price point. I would argue that when people are communicated in a way that feels comfortable and normal and natural, you probably win trust. And so anytime if there's a vehicle to help you hurdle a communication gap or a linguistic element, I think you win.
Yep. So I want to point out when you get a copy of this article, there's a link here. It's the latest National Association of Realtors international transactions data. So it shows you detail of where people are coming from. Um, so I'll leave it there, right? But Rick, I appreciate your tune because we all think about things a little bit differently, right? I immediately thought this is specific to ultra luxury and luxury, but I don't think you're wrong. I think they
Yeah.
bring their adult children with them and they don't buy up luxury.
Yep.
Yep.
Capacity to buy, irrelevant of price point. But I agree with you. There's definitely a target market here that's probably all cash that if you miss it, someone else gets it because they're better at communicating value, opportunity, and trust.
All right. Spirit Airlines.
What a mess.
What a mess. But their headquarters is Dania Beach. So does it really affect our market? My experience is when something big like this happens, it trickles into the market. I don't think like it's going to necessarily blow up a certain market because they live all over the place and this, that, and the other. Yet, one of the strategies that I think realtors don't specifically use is you could, and even with today with AI, you could go scrub LinkedIn for people that worked at Spirit, and you could reach out, you could target, you could geographic target because they all of a sudden the D's of the reasons people move, um, downsize is one of them, right? Or employment, right? They lost employment. Any thoughts on this? Any thoughts of strategy for this?
Just sensitivity. That would be my only concern. Honestly, they're
100%.
they're probably freaking out. I mean, I don't know if you just wake up on Monday without a job and Friday you thought you were. So if I were to reach out, I think it would have to be a soft sell and maybe just an opportunity to support them, beyond just I'm your real estate agent as a primary.
100%.
But
Right?
I get it. Opportunity shows up and somebody's going to win it. I did quickly Google. There are 6,000 employees based in Florida with Spirit Airlines. So
Mhm.
that's a that could affect the micro market if
I mean,
depending on the geography.
yeah, I think it's mentioned here, really, Rick, for two reasons in real estate. Buyer mobility shock for second homes and snowbird
Speaking my
market.
language.
Wrong season,
Yeah.
Matt.
South Florida, especially with that, right? And external shocks, like you said, hit local housing faster than people usually expect. And I know Elsa, she's raising her hand, being polite.
So, well, what I would do is if you had someone in your database that was part of that, I would call with a care call and just express, empathy and what can I do to help, not, real estate. But 832, according to this, were in the Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, out of that, airport, international airport.
I
Elsa,
have
what were you going to
Here,
say?
I have a question for Brad because I'm using a lot of AI tools. LinkedIn is one of the platform that I'm trying to penetrate, but I have been blocked every time. So I was just wondering if you have an AI tool in mind that I should explore that I didn't so far.
uh, I wrong context, but I are you playing with OpenClaw yet?
No, I'm using the Cowork and
Yeah, it's
as well.
probably pretty similar. I don't know the answer to that, and a lot of times I spout off saying, "Hey, we could do things with AI," but I
Okay,
haven't actually
okay,
done it myself. So,
okay.
but
It's fine. It's just if you
it's
had
the
something to say,
thinking, it's the
because I'm working
thinking
on
part.
that. The thinking is
All right,
absolutely true. I'm able to do that, but it's not live. It's like a
yeah,
CSV form that they are taking as a picture. But thank you.
there you
That's a
go.
great thought. And yes, I think that's where we need to aim for.
But you certainly, I mean, there's other ways to scrub. You can scrub social media with people that have posted that's their company or, things like that. Anyway, I'll
Well,
leave that there.
and they're
Also,
probably tagged in social media if there's an area where you put your employment
Yeah,
down.
it works for all the public's account, not the
yep.
private one. Yes.
All right. Richard, you're our broker, so I'm going to kind of throw this one your way.
Yeah,
Um,
things are changing again, and uh, yeah, this is simply saying that HUD has reversed some of the DEI programs that have been put into place over the last couple of decades. Part of the Fair Housing Act is you were not supposed to be sharing crime statistics, school statistics. I've taught that in the listing contracts class for a long time. Now they're saying, feel free, go out there, you can talk about it. That's kind of bottom line of what this article is.
yeah, I mean, I think the more freedom the information becomes, the less it becomes uh, faux pas, right? Like, I mean,
Well,
you
there's
can
less
Google this stuff.
bias.
Yeah,
There's less
yeah,
bias when it's fact-based and publicly available.
Correct.
And
And it's always been available, guys. You could go to realtor.com, you could go to Zillow, and there are buttons that you could click that take you right to the school information, take you right for crime. I mean, anything that you're not supposed to talk about in Fair Housing Act, it's there. It's all online. So all this is doing is saying you can now speak about it rather than having to direct your clients to find it elsewhere.
I
and
think
just
what
for
they were
Richards, yeah, go ahead, Rick.
the point is they're trying to eliminate subjectivity and bias. And if it's fact-based, for years I've always directed people to data and let them discern and then feedback what any concerns. So I think that's the purpose is just the whole steering and, pushing people or trying to manipulate information or be presented in a way that's not transparent.
It's,
Yep.
yeah, comes
All
down
right.
to how professional you are as a realtor. And it gives you an opportunity to again become the neighborhood expert when you know all of that information that you can share it with people rather than sending them to a third party site to find it for themselves.
There you
Excellent
go.
point.
So I'm going to do my best to explain this. We call it the mortgage spread. So it's the gap between the 10-year treasury rate and
Mhm.
what the current mortgage rates are. And historically, you've always heard us talk about how the mortgage rates trend with the 10-year treasury note rate, but they also track the gap. And historically, it's usually around 2% difference. But after the pandemic, the spread got really large so that the mortgage rates were priced much higher than what the 10-year treasury was. But that spread has come down over the last year and a half, 2 years. However, not to freak anybody out, but mortgage spreads closed at 1.93. Remember how I said historically it's around 2%. Keeping 2026 mortgage rates under 6.64 and near 6.44, if we went back 2, 3 years and had the same spread levels we had at 2023, the mortgage rates would be 7.6 right now. And so when they're saying the spreads are the only thing keeping our rates under 7% right now, I don't know the motivation in keeping that because I think um, the banking industry probably reacted to having low spreads when the mortgage rates were so low, and then it leveled back down. I don't think there's a fear that the mortgage spread is going to go up in the near future, but he's pointing out that if the spread was the same that it was in 2023, we would have 7.5% interest rates right now. And so it's a good thing for us right now, if that makes sense. You can see the spread between the numbers, right? Um, so we're actually at a healthy place where we weren't back here. Um, it's good for our mortgage environment, but it's just something to keep an eye on, is basically what they're saying.
And it's another data point to share with your clients and potential clients why now's the time to buy. Spreads are favor purchasing.
Hmm. Give me a little more on that, Rick.
I'm just saying anything that looks like positive news, like there's a, the gap is narrowed and it favors purchasing because our rates are at 6.5 or thereabouts. And it, date back 3 years ago, it would have been much higher. Again, it's just a narrative that says, hey, waiting may not favor you. Buying now could be the best idea. And let me help you find the perfect place. And
Yep.
it also flipped the script on selling. Now could be the greatest time because more buyers are potentially in the marketplace. Seasonality is playing a positive role as well as the mortgage gap. And when you speak in, intellectual terms, you satisfy those that operate more cerebral, and then you bring some emotional construct around, how exciting it would be to make a change or a move. Then you capture both sides of the psychological, equation or the whole hemisphere, if you will.
There you go.
Because there's
So
thinkers and then there's feelers, and the goal is to, in your marketing is to nail both.
absolutely. And from a marketing standpoint, this is another thing is said how seniors are housing market. I don't think anybody's shocked that Florida leads in senior home ownership rates. But the question, they have a search button down here. And if I go down here and I search Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, 29.9% of the home ownership in that demographic is senior. So a third.
Don't count
Um,
out those old folks, guys.
That's
We,
65
we
or
got the
older.
money.
So why does AARP think I'm a senior when I was 50,
I don't know, but oh, thanks, Rick.
Sorry.
I
You'll
got a
be getting
letter in the
those
mail.
mailers, Brett.
I got it in the mail and I was upset.
Just trying to lighten
Um,
the mood a little bit, folks.
there you go. So anyway, is this a business strategy for you? It's an awareness thing. And I mean, we tend to target the demographic that's closely related to ourselves. That's a natural business thing. And if a third of the market is senior, maybe there's a segment of your marketing that speaks to that. Maybe there's a percentage of your efforts that is directed to that. And when we've studied social media trends, these people are on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. Just FYI. Okay, a couple other things real quick. A second MLS just announced plans to expand nationwide. Um,
Fascinating.
MLS in Nashville is starting to uh, appeal or try to attract people to list properties nationally with their MLS. The Chicago MLS has done the same thing. And there's companies that are starting to get on board with this trend. I'm trying to find who it said was.
Compass was on the
It's
top
I
of
think
the list.
yeah.
Compass offered no, 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 no.
It's
Compass and
Compass and
United
United.
Real Estate. Yeah. So Gary was talking about this in the top agent mastermind last week that he thinks there now more than ever there's more movement to a national MLS. I was riding with Jeff Tricoli last night to this property, and he was saying how annoyed he was that he couldn't have MLS for all of Florida. And I think that's just a very real thing. The question is, does this movement take take over or not? I just don't see it going widespread, but just an FYI, right?
It's not going to change my opinion, it's not going to change your business any. If you had access to the MLS and you could look and see what's available in Cincinnati, you still can't sell property in Cincinnati. All
Nope.
it's doing,
It's true,
this is like,
but it can give you also the partners that you want to partner with. I think
that's
it's
correct,
brilliant.
Elsa.
I would love to have a national
That,
things because then
that's,
you know exactly who you want to deal with.
Well, you realize CoStar did this about 5 years ago. You used to buy CoStar, the commercial MLS, in your market, and they switched, and now any membership to CoStar is national.
I
And
think
you
it's
can,
brilliant.
we'll see. Just keep it on your radar. Last article, not to finish with the down one, but the economist at Compass, overall, it's been a little disappointing, is his comment about the home sales market. Most of the economists predicted about a 4% uptick in home sales in 2026. They're all backing down from that prediction at this point. Uh, they're saying the new listings are coming up. We're seeing a potential uptick in activity in new home listing data, higher than expected for the year, but pending home sales had predicted a 4% increase in home sales this year. Unless the stars aligned, the economy boomed and the market saw a large jump in sales. So that's probably not going to happen. But I do think it can happen in South Florida. And the reason I say that is the market in South Florida is outperforming many other comparable markets in the country. So we're going to hit that at stats. And real quick, we have our state of the industry coming up. And what you haven't seen yet, and you're gonna see for the first time at the state of the industry, is an entire new platform we have built for you, which is no longer us putting data in a spreadsheet and sharing it with you. It's now live connected data that has been powered by AI, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And the amount of information we have for you is probably overwhelming. And when you see it, I think you'll get crazy excited because not only do we have it, not only is it got AI insights built into it, but it's been built for content for social media where you can literally just click a button and get a Instagram graph or an Instagram post or a Facebook post or all that stuff. So we're going to roll that out at the State of the Industry coming up. And Robin, somebody that knows the date, when is it?
May 12th, stats?
Yes.
May 12th.
What
Next
time, when, and
Tuesday.
where?
It's at the Westin Fort Lauderdale, and it stat starts at 1 p.m.
All right, there you go.
Let's go.
So happy Monday, everybody.
Have an amazing week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt
Thank
and
you.
Richard.
Thank you. Bye bye.